Welcome, have a nice day. Today is Sunday, 25th of June 2023. It is National Catfish Day, Global Beatless Day, National Strawberry Parfait Day, Color TV Day, Log Cabin Day. 1975, Prime Minister Indira Gandhi declares a state of internal emergency in India. It's actually Part 16 of the Constitution of India allows for a constitutional setup that can be proclaimed by the President of the India as a state of emergency when the consultant group perceives and warns against grave threats of the nation from the internal and external sources or from financial situations of crisis. So, starting the newspaper analysis with the newspaper The Hindu states that Wagner chief orders Russian mercenaries to halt a march on Moscow after criminal charges against him dropped. People gather in a street as fighters of Wagner private mercenary group are deployed near the headquarters of the Southern Military District in the city of Rostov-on-Don, Russia, on June 24, 2023. The Hindu newspaper also states that Prime Minister Modi reaches Cairo from the United States to meet President El-Sisi and the Grand Mufti of the Egypt. After the successful visit to United States, Prime Minister Mr. Modi plans for the two-day Egypt visit. This is the first bilateral visit by the Indian Prime Minister in 26 years. The Hindu newspaper also states that India-made mRNA vaccine priced at rupees 2,292 will be available as a booster dose. Union Minister Jitendra Singh and others during the launch of GEMCOVAC Omicron specific mRNA-based booster vaccine in New Delhi on June 24, 2023. Going towards the Indian Express newspaper states that remembering K.R. Parthasarathi lay life in numbers. In his passing away, we have lost one of India's finest mathematicians, scholars, and teachers of the post-independence era whose research received high international acclaim and who inspired several generations of students. One of the India's most renowned mathematician, K.R. Parthasarathi, popularly known as KRP, passed away in Delhi on June 14 at the age of 87. KRP was one of the early entrants to the famous research and training school at the Indian Statistical Institute, Calcutta. Indian Express also states that group leader will move to Belarus after his march against President Putin. Russia-Ukraine live updates facing the first serious challenge to his group on power of his 23-year rule. President Vladimir Putin vowed to church the armed mutiny he compared to Russia's civil war a century ago. An APC and a police officer stand on the highway on the outskirts of Moscow, Russia, Saturday, June 24, 2023. Indian Express also states that Sikh man shot dead in Peshawar, second attack in 2 days, says locals. On Friday, a Sikh shopkeeper identified as Tarlok Singh was targeted and blood fired at him, but luckily he survived. Manmohan Singh, who was shot dead right at Tarlok Singh, who survived similar attack Friday. Indian Express also states that in Egypt, Prime Minister discusses trade relations to meet President El-Sisi today. Modi is visiting Egypt at the invitation of the President Abdel Fattah El-Sisi, the first bilateral visit by Indian Prime Minister to the country in 26 years. He will meet the Egyptian President on Sunday. Prime Minister, that is today, Narendra Modi, Saturday begins his maiden state visit to Egypt by holding discussions with his Egyptians. Prime Minister Modi arrives in Cairo Saturday. Egyptian Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli received him at the airport. Going towards the Hindustan Times newspaper states that revolts in Russia, two other crises survived by the Kremlin. After the rebellion launched by the Russian mercenary group Wagner against Moscow, AFP looks back at the previous biggest threat survived by the Kremlin since the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989. Servicemen sit in a tank with a flag of the Wagner Group military company as they guard an area at the headquarters of Southern Military District in a street in Rostov-on-Don, Russia. Hindustan Times also states that 19 exotic turtles, 40 parakeets seized from Delhi shop. The Delhi police raided a pet shop in northeast Delhi's Shastri Marg on Friday and seized 19 turtles and 40 parrots that belong to a species banned for sale and rearing as pets in India, according to the officers aware of the matter. Police said that the turtles were of the spotted black terrapin species. Hindustan Times also states that Navy boat surveys Yamuna to check pollution debris levels. The Indian Navy on Saturday carried out a navigability assessment of the Yamuna in Delhi by taking the workboat it recently brought from Kochi in Kerala. Officials from the Lieutenant Governor's Secretariat said the assessment covered an 11-kilometer distance from the signature bridge to the ITO barrage, officials said. The Navy workboat Barasingha was brought by road from Kochi on June 3 and moored at a signature bridge jetty. Going towards the economy of the country, Prime Minister Mr. Modi, United States visit to bolster strategic collaboration, says India INC. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi addresses a gathering Washington DC. Fast-growing airlines grapple with the problem of parking full. Recent orders of 500 aircraft by Indigo on top of its previous orders of 480 and 470 by Air India, along with a three-digit order by Al Akasa, likely by the end of the year, imply that by 2030, and when a large chunk of these planes arrive, expansion of airport capacity, including space for parking, these planes will have to keep pace. AP Transco gets CERC nod for recovering rupees 114 crore as interstate transmission charges. K. Vijayanand, the Special Chief Secretary, Energy and AP Transco CMD. Going towards the world news, including Russia, says Wagner Group's leader will move to Belarus after his rebellious march challenged Putin. Rebel Russian mercenaries will turn back to avoid bloodshed, leaders say. Putin embraced turmoil and now it is rattling his leadership. Russian helicopters battle rebel mercenaries rolling towards Moscow. Indian chief jailed for molesting two teenage girls in Singapore. Ukraine Zelensky on Wagner mutiny. Russia's weakness is obvious. Going towards the science and technology, how prokaryotes led to eukaryotes. Mitochondria in eukaryote cells and chloroplasts in plant cells have evolved from free-living bacteria. Mosquito surveillance must include non-residential urban environments. New assisted reproductive technology regulations push up a cost of treatment, limit conceptions opportunity. The new ART provisions impose restrictions on the number of times a donor, a male or a female, can donate sperm oocyte in their lifetime and specifies age limits for donor. Picture shows an embryologist works on a petri dish at a fertility clinic. Want a climate-friendly flight? It is going to take a while and cost you more. Sustainable aviation fuel has become the industry's best hope to achieve its promise of net zero emission by 2050. At last, there is a famous quotation said by Rabindranath Tagore, whose birth anniversary is 7 May 1861 up to 7 August 1941. was a Bengali poet, writer, playwright, composer, philosopher, social reformer, and a painter. He reshaped Bengali literature and music as well as Indian art with the contextual modernism in the late 19th century and early 20th centuries. Author of the profoundly sensitive, fresh, and beautiful poetry of Gitanjali, he became in 1913 the first non-European and the first lyricist to win the Nobel Prize in Literature. Tagore's poetic songs were vivid as a spiritual and a mercurial. However, his elegant prose and magical poetry remained largely unknown outside the Bengal. He was fellow of the Royal Asiatic Society, referred to as Bard of the Bengal. Tagore was known by sobriquets Gurudev, Kobi Guru, and Biswa Kobi. Mr. Rabindranath Tagore says a famous quotation. He says that the highest education is that which does not merely give us information but makes our life in harmony with all existence. Okay, thank you.